Okay, next lesson is the sine law. You may or may not be familiar with the sine law from last year. So this is something we can use when we are given a triangle that is not a right triangle. Okay? It can be used with any triangle, but you saw that SOHCAHTOA and Pythagorean theorem only work with right angle triangles. So we often use these when we are given acute angle triangles and cannot solve another way. Okay? It is a relationship between the length of a side and the opposite angle. Remember, opposite is across from it. You must have one complete ratio, meaning one complete fraction, in order for this to work. And just a reminder that the largest angle is opposite to the largest side. And the smallest angle is opposite to the smallest side. So for example, in triangle ABC that I have labeled here, remember we have the letters inside match with uppercase and lowercase. Angles are always uppercase letters, and the opposite side to those angles are lowercase letters. So we have A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. Or we can flip that whole thing upside down and have sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C. Okay? Doesn't matter which one you use. I usually use this top one if we're trying to find a side. They work either way, but it's just a little bit easier. And I use this one if we are finding a missing angle. I just like the unknown to be on top because it's less steps. Okay, let's see how to actually use this thing now. So find angle x to the nearest degree. It is not a right angle triangle, so I cannot use SOHCAHTOA to solve it. I want to find this angle x. So I would use this one. I'll use it with these letters first, and then we'll change up the variables because we don't have A, B, and C, and that's okay. We have x, y, z. So sine x over little x equals sine y over side y equals sine z over little z. I like to put a little line through my z so it doesn't look like a 2. So there we go. Then we can just fill in all the information we know. So we don't know angle x, but I do know side x is 26. I don't know angle y, and I don't know side y. I do know angle z, and I do know side z. So I really just want to look at this ratio because that's the angle I'm trying to find with a full complete ratio. The y is useless because it doesn't give me any information. So I'm just going to rewrite that over here. And we're going to solve for an unknown with our ratios like we did today in class. We are going to, or sorry, it would be yesterday for you, cross multiply. So crisscross, we get 37 times sine x equals 26 times sine 53. And I want to find sine x, so I'm going to move 37 over to the other side. Opposite of times 37 is divide by 37. And lastly, I want to solve for an angle, so I have to take the inverse. You can do this in multiple steps, or you can write it all out like I did here and do it all in your calculator at once. Doesn't matter. 26 times sine 53, divide by 37, and then second function sine equals, right over here, x equals 34 degrees approximately. So try on your calculators and make sure you know how to put that in to get the right answer of 34 degrees. Try another one. Find the length of K. Now you notice the K that's labeled there is the angle K. So you have to actually write the little k, lowercase k, on the side. So across from angle K is our lowercase k. That's the side we actually want to find. Finding a side this time, so I'm going to put the side on top and the angle on the bottom. And it doesn't matter what order you put the variables. Plug in all the information we know. So I don't know K, that's what we're trying to find. I do know angle K. J, I do not know. And I don't know angle J either. L is 93 centimeters and angle L is 55 degrees. Again, I want to use the proportion here, fraction with both numbers, and the fraction with the variable that I'm trying to find. So I'm just going to rewrite it out, and you don't have to rewrite it out if you don't want to, but I'm going to rewrite it out so we can see exactly what we're going to cross multiply. Bottom to top, bottom to top. K times sine 55 is 93 times sine 65 . And I'm going to use opposite operations to move that sine 55 over to the other side by dividing. Put my calculator, 93 times sine 65 divided by sine 55, and I get 102.9 approximately centimeters. Again, try it in your calculator, make sure you know how to use it. Some calculators you do sine 65 and some calculators you do 65 sine, so you got to make sure you know how to use your own calculator. Okay, example 3. Finding a length. So I'm going to do the lowercase on top, uppercase on the bottom. Now we don't even have the last letter of this triangle, but that's okay. Let's fill in what we know. It wants us to find side R. And we don't know side P. I do know this, okay. What's the last one? P. Maybe give it a letter Q. I know side Q is 30. Angle Q is 60. So here's the fraction that has all the information, which I could cross multiply to find P, side P, but the question doesn't want me to find side P, it wants me to find side R. We don't have any info for that fraction. So first, we need to find that angle R. We saw last class that we can take our 180 degrees and subtract the two known angles from it to find that missing one. We talked about how it would be quicker to do that than to use SOHCAHTOA again. So triangles always have 3 angles that add up to 180. I can really quickly do that to figure out that angle R is 36 degrees. Now I can take my proportion here and cross multiply. So one step before you could actually do the cross multiplication. Crisscross. r times sine 60, 30 times sine 36. Opposite operation, so we are going to divide by sine 60. I'll plug that into my calculator. Let's see what we get. Sine 36 times 30, divide by sine 60, 20.4 meters. Okay, last one. In triangle PQR, P equals 18 centimeters, Q equals 22 centimeters, and angle Q equals 55 degrees. Solve the triangle. So this one's different because we haven't seen this solved. We've just seen find R or find Q. So solve means you need to find all missing sides and all missing angles. So everything in that triangle. So first thing we need to do is draw a triangle. And I don't care if it's to scale, just draw a triangle that's not 90 degrees. Keep that. And I'm going to call it P, Q, R. We have side P is 18 centimeters. So across from angle P, 18 centimeters. Side Q is 22 centimeters. So again, across from angle Q. And angle Q we know is 55 degrees. We can just start using our sine law. And you can find whatever you want first. I'm going to find angle P. Set it up. And fill in everything we know. I don't know angle P, but I do know side P. I know angle Q and side Q. I'm going to stop there because I don't know any R. And start cross multiplying. Oops, I don't know what happened there. And divide by 22. So I'll show you the other way to do it because last time I put it on my calculator. I'm just going to do this 18 times sine 55 equals divide by 22 equals. And I'm going to keep that in my calculator and then I'm going to do the inverse. Writing too big here. Second function, sine 42 degrees. There's P. I'm not done, so I'm just going to call it step 1. I'm not done because all I found was angle P and I would need to solve everything. So I have angle P, I have angle Q. Now I'm going to find angle R. And I want the quickest method, so I'm just going to take my 180 minus 55 and minus the 42. 180 minus 55 minus 42 is 83 degrees. There we go. I found R. And lastly, I need side R. So I'm going to do R for sine R. And I'm going to use Q because if I made a mistake finding P, then I'm going to have a mistake again here. Q at least is given. So my angle R is 83 degrees. Q is 22 and 55 degrees. Again, cross multiply. R times sine 55, 22 times sine 83. and bring the sine 55 over to the other side by doing opposite operation. So again, dividing. Notice we keep doing the same thing, right? Multiplying and then dividing. So after a few practices with this, you'll get the hang of it because it's the same process every time. And I got 26.7 rounded centimeters. There you go. And I like to box my answers so I can quickly find that I found angle R and side R. I found angle P. I already knew side P and I knew side Q and angle Q. So I am done. Okay, again, look on the outline to do the homework practice in the textbook, and please send me some emails if you have any questions.